Welcome, welcome! Today you have two co-hosts taking you through the wondrous world of Pokemon and Disney Pixar. But more on that later. First, I would like to introduce Cacophonous Corphish!
Hey everyone, Cacophonous Corphish here. A huge thanks to Mia for having me on today. We also did a collaboration over on my channel where we went through features we want to see return in future main series Pokemon games. If you haven't already watched it, be sure to do so after this video.
In total, we chose 8 movies from either Disney or Pixar and assigned 6 Pokemon to each of them and see which Pokemon most embody those characters. Make sure to leave a comment down below which ones you agree with, don't agree with, or maybe you just have some other suggestions or you particularly like 1 or 2 options that we've given. Let us know down below. So first up, let's go with Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6. Without his armor on, Baymax is just a big plushy creature like Snorlax, and with his armor on, he's this giant battle-ready titan just like Golurk. Wasabi's weapon of choice is Plasma Blades, so Gallade with the blade arms and green color is a really good fit. It was hard to find a good Pokemon for Go-Go. We thought Go-Goat might be a good choice, but come Scarlet and Violet, we were given Miraidon, who, with its design alone, perfectly encapsulates Go-Go's power. For Fred, we chose Salamence because, you know, blue dragon, fire breathing. Honeylemon was tough too. Her weapons are colorful chem balls, and the Pokemon who seems to best represent this is Alolan Muck. And lastly, for the Microbots, we chose Melmetal. They're both robots with great control over their bodies.
Next up, we have Encanto. We were thinking that maybe a Pokemon like Meganium with a big flower or Roserade with the 2 roses would be perfect for our flower lady Isabella. Furthermore, Peppa with her rain and thunder and sun would be great as a cast form. No, it doesn't look like Peppa, but I mean, it is a weather Pokemon. Next up, we're gonna talk about Bruno.
Since when do we talk about Bruno?
And for him, we thought maybe a Medicham or even a Gardevoir. He can gender bend it. Louisa. Louisa gives that big Bewear energy. Not so much because of the size or because Bewear is super strong, but just because it has the sweet little side and then just can rage the next moment in strength. Antonio, we decided to go for either Oranguru or Indeedee. Both would work really well with communicating with animals or sort of the field around it. And lastly, we have Mirabelle. For her, we picked Vivillon because of the patterns on her skirt and just the whole theme of the butterfly throughout. And it was really nice to see all the different types of Vivillon in Generation 6 and how you could collect them. And it just made a Pokemon that generally wouldn't have been all that special quite exciting and interesting. And we thought that would really portray Mirabelle quite well.
Zootopia. For Judy, we chose Cinderace. Yes, I know there are other rabbit Pokemon, but Diggersby is too... ugh. And Lopunny... just no. For Nick, we've got Thievul. I mean, do I even have to explain this one? Just look at the resemblance here. That, and they're both known for being sly foxes. There's only one really good choice for Chief Bogo. Take a few seconds and try to guess who it is. Yeah, it's Bouffalant. Kozlov, we chose Beartic, because they're both giant polar bears. For Fennec, we have Fennekin, because they're both little Fennec foxes. And finally, for Mayor Lionheart, we chose Pyroar. Who is a lion?
Now we have Alice in Wonderland. We had a bit of a think of who the Mad Hatter and Hare can be at the unbirthday party, but then I thought about the whole energy of it, and it really gives me that Tinkaton energy, because Big Hammer just reminds me of the Mad Hatter and the Hare trying to fix the White Rabbit's clock. I don't know, it's not a very nice scene. But the Mad Hatter definitely reminds me of Mr. Rhyme, and that's more because of the live action version where Johnny Depp has that little bit of a dance, and that just reminds me of the Charlie Chaplin Mr. Rhyme dance that he does, just generally in the game when he moves around. For the Hare, we chose Bunnelby, more so because of the way Bunnelby looks, rather than the general way it acts. And for the White Rabbit then, we chose Scorbunny because of how happy it is and also that bit of a fast bunny kind of thing, and the White Rabbit going, I'm late for a very important date. The White Rabbit I actually cosplayed earlier this year as part of a mystery Cluedo style adventure, which was like an outdoor escape room kind of thing, and I really had a lot of fun suiting up as the White Rabbit. Alice, we chose Rabombi. I think just the general sort of personality of Alice fits really well with Rabombi, although I do think it fits more her animated counterpart rather than the warrior that is Alice in the live action remake. For the White Queen, we chose Hatterini. She's elegant, she's strong, and a little bit intimidating. For the Queen of Hearts, we chose Jinx for the color scheme, and just sort of the way Jinx moves just reminds me a lot of how the Queen of Hearts moves around her maids. And lastly, we had the Cheshire Cat. Cheshire is just such a lovable character. Very mysterious, very intriguing, a little bit creepy. We were looking at all the many different Pokemon that were based on cats, specifically greyish or purplish cats, but in the end we chose Gengar. It's whimsical, mischievous, and can be quite scary. It's a perfect match for our Cheshire.
Tangled. For Rapunzel, we have a Alolan Dugtrio. But you know, I honestly have no idea why. Could it be the long blonde hair? Or maybe the fact that Alolan Dugtrio's ability is tangling hair? Nah, can't be. Must be something else. For Flynn Rider, we have Serperior, because they're both known for subduing others just by looking at them. You know, with Serperior's Glare and Flynn Rider's Smolder. For Maximus, we have either Rapidash or Mudsdale, because, you know, horses and noble steeds you ride on. For Pascal, we have Kecleon, because they're both chameleon to love-changing color. For Mother Gothel, screw her by the way, the only Pokemon we could really think of for her is Gothitelle. And for Ulf the Mime, we chose, wait for it, Mr. Mime! I mean, duh, right?
For our team of Incredibles, we picked Machamp to represent Mr. Incredible, and G-Max Meowth for Elastigirl. Dash, we picked Ninjask, and for Violet, originally we wanted to go with Kecleon, but since we already had Kecleon earlier in the video, we thought, what about Latias? Just because in the Pokemon Heroes movie, Latias and Latios would often camouflage in their environment, and it just seemed like a good pick as Latias is also red, like the Incredible suits are. For Frozone, we picked Weavile. And for Void, we picked the Incredible Hoopa!
Wreck-It Ralph. For Ralph, we have Von Kelder, because, you know, big, strong, burly men. Vanellope was a bit harder. We think the best choice is either Vanillux or Alchemy. Felix was hard too. After thinking about it a lot, I thought the best choice would be Marowak. I mean, they kind of have the same body shape, and Marowak uses its bone kind of like a hammer, even if for the opposite reason as Felix. For Calhoun, we have either Blastoise or Clawitzer because they all use shooting weapons. For Shank, all we could think of is Go-Goat, because Go-Goat's kind of based on a Lance vehicle, which is what Shank is known for. And for King Candy, or is he Turbo? We chose Gallery and Slowking because they're both evil kings. Well, I'm not sure if Gallery and Slowking is actually evil, but it does look pretty evil.
And lastly, we have Frozen. We picked Werdir for Sven, and for the rock monster, we decided to go with Golurk, even though Golem was a pretty good contender. Olaf gets to be the Galarian Darmanitan, and for the fire lizard from the second movie, we picked Salazzle. Glastrier would be a great ice horse, and our leading lady Elsa is Frostlass. Who would you pick to be Anna? And that's it! That's the Pokemon that we've chosen to be counterparts to characters from these Disney or Pixar films.
Be sure to below which of our choices you agree with, and which ones you would pick different Pokemon for.
Remember to share this video with a friend or relevant community, and that you're subscribed to both our channels so you don't miss any of those future videos that we have covering either Pokemon or other gaming topics. Thank you so much for watching!